Hello everybody and welcome back to the next episode in the series. In the last episode we gathered a whole bunch of resources, set up the data that we're going to be presenting, and created the layout for our view holder class here. So today we are going to jump right in and create the adapter class for our recycler view, and within it build our view holder class as well. So we're going to call this our soccer tile adapter. Let's make it a soccer tile view holder for now, which we will create right now. RecyclerView view holder. Okay. If it looks like we're moving at a little bit faster pace here, that's because in the previous season we covered the adapter class. We kind of dove in depth a little bit more about recycler views, adapters, view holders, and whatnot. So if you missed that introduction or tutorial, or don't have that knowledge, please go back and revisit that video. I will try to link it on screen now if I can figure out how to do that. So I'm kind of moving on with the understanding that you kind of know what's going on here a little bit, but essentially we've created a RecyclerView.Adapter implementation. We've specified a specific view holder that this adapter is going to be managing. Because we're not going to have multiple view types, it's okay to be doing this, in my opinion. And this type here just needs to be a class that extends the base RecyclerView view holder. So we are all covered there. Going to create the onBind function with the soccer tile. Object passed in. Say holder onBind. We're going to have an object that's called data at position, which we'll just, let's set it in the constructor because we'll have it. Data is going to be an array list of soccer tiles. So another fun, I guess, change to, or that Kotlin introduced, is the fact that inside the constructor you can actually just declare essentially like a global variable for the class in the constructor. So there's no more reason to have this stored as a local variable, and then in some constructor, that receives a variable of this type, say, this dot data equals data kind of thing. They kind of just cut out some of that boilerplate stuff, and you see here in the constructor of this adapter class, we have data, and we're able to reference that exact object from within here. So just kind of convenient stuff. Again, I'm going to go ahead and return data.size to build the adapter, to build as many view holders as we have data, and then in here we're going to go ahead and just fetch our okay. So I believe that's everything that we have, right? Header image, title, description, and a button. Yes, very good. So now in the onBind, we can actually connect the data to our UI, and we will do so by saying header image view, set image resource. We can just set an actual resource ID, which we have in our soccer tile. The title text field we will set to soccer tile text. Description, we'll do the same thing. And then button, set on click listener. Yes. So you see if you type toast here in lowercase, it actually kind of has a weird tooltip thing that pops up, says create new toast. And that will actually basically fill in everything for you here. What's it called? Adapter position. Yep, there you go. Sure, we can make all these private. And then we just have a simple on-click listener that will just toast something on screen. Adapter position is again a custom field, or not a custom field, a custom object, method, or a base method that exists inside the viewholder class. Yeah, inside the viewholder class. So every viewholder can get a reference to what position it is. Oh, sorry, we're not doing anything with it. The viewholder can get an idea of which position it actually is in the list, and that is 0 based as well. So now that we have our soccer tile list here, we can create our val soccer tile adapter from that, passing in our soccer tile list, and then we can set let's say RecyclerView equals find. Okay, so let's just do it here as well as small difference. R.ID, I think it's just called RecyclerView, and that's, yeah, it's in the activity main. So you'll see here this other way of fetching the or utilizing this find view by ID function. If you do not declare what type this variable is and actually just try to call find view by ID, you'll be able to pass in a particular type of what the view that you're trying to find is. And so you can either do it this way or a little bit more of a declarative approach where you're saying exactly what type it is and then calling find view by ID with the ID. So your preference, would just know that sometimes, like, if your import doesn't happen immediately, that it kind of auto-fills with like this empty brackets there, or whatever those things are called that you need to fill in. But your choice, it'll do the same thing. We will set our adapter to the soccer tile adapter, and then we will call soccer tile adapter notify dataset changed. And now, at this point, we should get something on screen. That's not the same. All right. I think I know what's happening here. Yep, we are in dark mode. We will cover that in a different or another video at some point in the future, supporting dark mode and light mode. Right now we're just going to worry about light mode so that we only have to worry about the actual recycler view and then this other content that's on the screen. So if you look very well, first off, woohoo, this works. See there, 0 clicked, it says 1 clicked. So everything is working here. These images are coming out pretty nicely. Maybe a little bit big, but not the end of the world. We can try to condense some of these, but in all honesty, this isn't looking that bad. But if you see in this very small, or in this corner here, there's the rounded edge of the card view, and then there is like this little square that exists right here. And that is actually because this card view has elevation, or sorry, not square, there's this little triangle that exists in the corner. This card view has elevation, but if you look, it doesn't actually look like it is elevated from the screen, right? It doesn't look like it's popping off in the Z direction. And that's because we're actually running into a clipping issue, meaning that this view here, since it's the recycler view and all of these other view holders are within it, oh, sorry, no, in this case, I think it's actually happening here, but essentially one of these parent view groups is actually clipping the child from drawing outside of the parent's view bounds, which is kind of what this card view is trying to do to accomplish that that shadow effect. So we can actually say here, clip children false, and I want to see if that is the one that does it. Okay, so that did not seem to do it. Let's go ahead and put the clip children on this one, set to false. Yep, and there you go. So you can see the actual change immediately in it. So let's see if I can just remove this. This one might not have been relevant if things rerun and it's all good. Yep. So it seemed like the actual recycler view was what was clipping it and causing that issue. I'm actually going to go ahead and just remove the stroke here because it doesn't really look all that good. And I think you'll see a little bit more in the shadow. Yeah. So now you can kind of see clearly the fact that it has this little shadow here, and it's technically, you know, this card view here that we've defined. As you can see here, the layout bounds are, you know, right here, everything that you can see. So the shadow is actually trying to be drawn outside of it, and that's why things looked a little off, a little broken. So you might not have even noticed that or known to look for that, but little tweaks like that bug me for sure. And then if you also see here, the padding, there's no room here at the edge of the screen at the bottom, right? Just because it reaches the list and there's nothing else there. So if we go here and say padding bottom, let's go with a 24 dp and rerun this. Now we have a little bit of an issue with the clipping. Now this view holder has the recycler view has 24 dp, which is the difference from the bottom of the screen to where this line is right here that it cuts off. But now it actually just looks like it's not scrolling the entire screen, which is wrong. But if you noticed here, on this view, we just set the clip children field to false. There's also another one that says clip to padding, and once we rerun it, boom, clip to padding is no longer set to true, so therefore it's not actually clipping the children. And then when you continue to scroll, now you can kind of get like, oh, this is the bottom of the list. Maybe we need to make it a little bit bigger to instead of just seeming like the spacing in between the items. But now if it's rerun, we go, you can like kind of, even though there's the overscroll mode, you can kind of clearly tell that this is the end of the list because this gap here is larger than any of the gaps in between these views. So here we are. We have translated our list of soccer tile information into this pretty nice looking screen, if I do say so myself. You know, we can kind of populate a little bit more of this information that maybe makes it a bit more relevant, and it will start to come together, and then maybe certain cards will get longer than others if this, or taller than others if this, you know, goes on to 2, 3, 4 lines or whatever. Yeah, but otherwise, I mean, you know, this could be like a store or something along those lines where you could kind of, you know, click into each one of these tiles and kind of go into a little merchandising shop or something like that. But anyway, In the next video, we will take a little bit deeper look at maybe off screen I'll spruce up some of this data that we're showing here just to make it look a little bit more lively, and then we'll take a look at building out the detail screen that will kind of make a full screen version of this, and we'll have a little bit more that we can offer there, and then we'll just keep chugging along. I got a few other ideas I want to show you guys, and we'll go from there. So again, hopefully I didn't fly through this too quickly here. Should be pretty straightforward, especially if you're coming from either any previous knowledge of an adapter, or if you saw the previous video where we or videos where we dissected the adapter class and the recycler view a little bit more. And I'm happy that I got to show off some of the new to you, clip to children, clip to padding, kind of show you how certain padding attributes can have their place in the system, and hopefully you learned a thing or two, and I shall see you in the next one.